Hello everybody, it's Warm, and welcome back to Steins Gate. Last time, not much happened. Oh, except one thing. Yeah, we discovered what the lifter was. Turns out, this whole time it was, in fact, the CRT downstairs. Specifically, the 42-inch CRT TV that we have in Mr. Braun's shop. So, with that understanding, presumably we'll be able to be a bit more consistent with how we do our time traveling, and we'll be able to perhaps modify or something, or get more specific with how we do these sorts of things. I'm not entirely sure what's possible, but yeah. The only other really somewhat notable thing is we got Suzuha cautioning against trusting in Krisu. So I think, as I said at the time, I think that just what's going to end up happening is either Krisu is either responsible for, or technology that she develops is responsible for some kind of, I don't know, evil or tragedy or something, conflict, who knows. And that could be what Suzuha is referring to. At least that's my sense of it at the moment. Other than that, not much happened, really. It was just, more discussion with Suzuha, and we got to see Nai again, and Mr. Braun. So, yeah, it was just almost an hour length, but not too much concrete, actually. Just the lifter, really. So let's continue on and see what goes on now that we know that. A little while later, I'm lying on the sofa watching high school baseball. Kumamoto and Aichi are locked in a fierce struggle for the playoffs. Just then, the clack-clack of the sewing machine in the lounge suddenly stops.
Okari! Chotto kite!
She motions to me while holding up a costume. What does she want? I walk over to her.
これをね、持っててくれないかな。こうして、ビローンって広げて。
マユシ、今のビローン、もう一度。
ビローン。
ビローンいただきました。
もうやだこの変態。
I follow Mayuri's directions and spread the costume out by the sleeves. She inspects it from a few paces away. It's hard to believe given her usual ditziness, but Mayuri is very serious about her art. That's why cosplayers value her costume so highly. The costume I'm holding is custom made for Lukako. I thought Lukako was against it, but I guess Mayuri managed to persuade her.
ありがとう。
Mayuri looks a little tired. She was working on this costume all night. But that doesn't dim the brightness of her satisfied smile.
できたー。
完成か？
クリスちゃんより先にできたよ。競争してたんだ。
負けたわ、まゆり。お見事ね。
Damn you, assistant. She treats me and Daru like garbage, but Mayuri gets the sisterly touch.
でも、こっちももう終わりよ。
Krisu carefully connects the two cords she's holding.
完成。
Celebration is in order. But nobody cheers.
引き分けだね。
ああ、疲れたお。エイスさんに癒されたい。
Honestly, I don't feel like cheering either. And it's not because I'm tired. We worked around the clock for 3 straight days to finish the time leap machine. But now that it is complete, I realize that part of me never truly believed it would happen. I feel my enthusiasm cooling rapidly, the fire quenched by one stark question. What do we do with it? I look at Krisu. She too seems less than enthused.
私たちひょっとするととんでもないものを作っちゃったかもしれない。
Yeah. I look at the improved phone wave name subject to change again. There is now a headset. The biggest change is the headgear attached to the X68000. It looks like something out of a low-budget cyberpunk movie. Fortunately, we don't need nerve jacks or brain chips for it to work. You just put it on and let the sensors do the rest.
とりあえず正式名称を決めようだ。
What does that say? Georgian coffee mix? Coffee Mex. Or I guess Georgian Mex coffee. Okay.
ヘブンリーエクスプレス。
電話レンジサードエディションバージョン 1.00。
帽子付き電話レンジじゃん。
No consensus.
あんたたちって本当に能天気ね。
クリスティーナは危険か？
タイムリープマシン。
これはひどい。
何よ、シンプルイズベストでしょ。この2日間岡部だってそのネーミングで呼んでたし。
助手はネーミングセンスゼロのよう
中二病丸出しのあんたに言われたくない。
おお、まさかマキセ氏が中二病って言葉を知ってるとは。やるじゃん。
She said that before, for sure. I feel like Daru should have known that already, but he could just be messing with her.
たまたまだから勘違いしないで。
Ha, a bold-faced lie. She should just confess to being an at-channeler. Krisu meets my grin with an icy glare.
マユリ、最終決定権者としてどれか一つ選んでくれ。
Whenever the lab is divided on a name, the right to decide belongs to Mayuri. And what's stopping her from just choosing her own option?
タイムリープマシンがいいと思います。
Okay.
帽子付き電話レンジちゃんとね、すごく迷ったけど。
マユ氏のことだからそうなると思ったぞな。
だから言ったでしょ、シンプルイズベストだって。マユリはよくわかってる。
I want to object, but it's an unwritten rule not to complain once Mayuri's made a decision.
ではタイムリープマシンで決定とする。助手、全員にわかるようにこのタイムリープマシンの仕組みについてレクチャーしてくれ。
I know the basics, but I want to hear the details. Krisu nods and stands in front of the whiteboard.
一言で言うと、これは記憶をデータ化してリング得意点を通過させ過去へ飛ばす装置。電話レンジには偶然にもタイターが語ったタイムマシンとほぼ同じ機能が備えられていた。リング得意点を生み出し、そのトンネルを通って過去へと36バイトプラスアルファのデータを転送することができる。局所場して、つまり過去のどこへ到達するかについては携帯電話に限定することでクリアした。 D メールと違って今回は電話をかける形にしたから、メールアドレスじゃなくて電話番号によって局所場指定することになる。生み出されたリング得意点の超重力を安定させ裸にするための電子注入装置 リフターの役割は開花の42型ブラウン管がそれを担ってる。
She's explained the basics. Next, she'll explain the modifications she made to turn the phone wave name subject to change into a time leap machine. I have to say, I am a bit sad. Well, maybe disappointed is a better term. I'm a bit disappointed that I wasn't able to make the connection between the CRTs and the lifter. I think I was thinking that, well, initially I was thinking what they were thinking, that it would have to be something either on the phone wave, or I was thinking something right next to it. So I was thinking something in the lab. But I didn't expand my thoughts out far enough to include the shop under us. But in retrospect, it does seem kind of obvious.
電話レンジには新たにヘッドギアを接続した。これによって側頭葉、正確に言うと海馬の CA3 に蓄積されている記憶の神経パルスパターンを操作するの。
Hippocampus CA3. The hippocampus is divided into 3 histological sections: CA1, CA2, and CA3. CA refers to the name given to the hippocampus by anatomist. Ooh, my goodness. I don't know how to begin. Garen Git. I know that is absolutely not how that is pronounced, but okay. In 1742, Cornu Amonis, the horn of Amun. I'm curious. Where are you from, sir? Let's see here. Is it this person? Let's see. I think it might be this person here. René Jacques de Crosson. So French, so would it be Géringeau? I don't know. Well, let's just let's go. Let's keep going before I torture it even more, shall we?
その解析データは VR 技術を用いて神経パルス信号から電気信号へとエンコードしデータ化される。
データ容量はおよそ 3.24 テラだお。
And VR wasn't virtual reality, it was something else. Hang on a second. Okay, I found it. It was visual rebuilding. That's what it was. Okay. 3.24 terabytes. That's less than I expected. We're talking about the entirety of a person's memories.
ちなみにこのデータにはあらかじめ次元式のデコードプログラムを仕掛けておく。これはプログラムに詳しい人なら誰でもできるものよ。橋田にプログラムを作ってもらった。この電気信号データをネットを通してフランスにあるセルンの LHC へと転送。
Which we can do fairly quickly, as we can see here. because there just happens to be a handy dandy fiber optic cable. Yeah. This building has a direct line to CERN for some reason, so we can transfer data at insanely high speeds.
3.24 テラのデータを転送するのにかかる時間は
Almost like... almost like... It is by someone's design that we do this.
直通回線は1本だけじゃなくて64本が束になってるんだ。だから64分割して並列に送ればだいたい45秒ぐらいでいけると思われ。
That's pretty fast.
LHC を遠隔操作してミニブラックホールを作ったら、その周辺で生み出される超重力による無限圧縮を利用してデータを36バイトまで圧縮する。
3 terabytes is about 3 trillion bytes. Compressing that into just 36 bytes. That's one hell of a squeeze.
圧縮にも時間がかかるのか。
こっちは一瞬。何しろブラックホールの力使ってるからだいたい23ミリ秒でいける。
ちなみにバイナリデータの超圧縮はミニブラックホール周辺でのみ有効よ。そこから離れた時点でデータは勝手に解凍を始めてしまう。解凍までにかかる時間も圧縮時と同じ23ミリ秒。
その間に LHC からこのペケロッパを経由して電話レンジまで戻さないといけない。まあ36バイトプラスアルファ程度のデータなら楽勝で間に合うを。
クリスティーナ、続けろ。
タイムリープマシン側では起動と同時にカーブラックホール効果が発生してリング特異点が生成されてる。放電現象が発生したら LHC から36バイトプラスアルファまで圧縮したデータを戻しリング特異点内を通り抜けさせる。この辺は電話レンジとやることは同じ。データはタイマーに入力しておいた時間分を遡り過去の携帯電話へとつながる。リング特異点を通り抜けて過去の携帯電話に到達する頃には23ミリ秒が経過してデータは自動的に解凍されているはず。解凍と同時にデコードプログラムが展開して電気信号から神経パルス信号に戻す。
Back into nerve impulse signals.
受信先の携帯電話に到達すると神経パルス信号は送話口から 0.02 アンペアほどの微弱な放電現象となって発せられるの。これが携帯電話を耳に当てている受信者のこめかみ付近に放射されるわけ。
Okay. Hmm.
受信者が電話の呼び出しに出るのが前提だな。
でなければ記憶の転送は失敗に終わる。まあこの場合は特にデメリットは何もないわ。コピーデータが消滅するだけだから。
メールではなく電話をかけることにした理由は
Okay, so signals discharge from the phone's earpiece and they go into his brain through his ear. Is there any Is there anything like this in reality, I guess is my question. Or is this just gobbledygook? Because it sounds kind of like gobbledygook. Yeah, if there's an example or something similar to this that is in real life, I'd be interested to hear about it, because this is, I mean, the whole thing is, I mean, we're talking about time travel in a fictional story, so that's, you know, on some level, it's all out there. But of this whole process, this part's feeling a bit much to me, but who knows? I'm definitely not. I certainly wouldn't be someone who's well read enough about this sort of thing to know otherwise. So.
携帯電話が受信者のこめかみ付近にあることでデータを受信者の側頭葉に送り込みやすくなるから。
She indicates the side of her head.
人間のこめかみ周辺には大脳前頭葉と大脳側頭葉が位置してるんだけど、最初に言った通り側頭葉は海馬傍回があって記憶を貯蓄する場所なの。そこに送信者の全記憶の塊である神経パルス信号が携帯電話から放射される。これで記憶の上書きは完了。
This whole overriding term.
同時に携帯電話からは前頭葉を刺激する神経パルス信号も出すわ。これ重要。前頭葉から側頭葉へはトップダウン記憶検索信号というのが発信されてる。これは記憶を思い出すときに発信される信号。前頭葉を刺激する神経パルスを放射することでこのトップダウン記憶検索信号を意図的に発信させる。これによって送信者から送られた全記憶を受信者に強制的に思い出させるという作用が発生する。未来の記憶を思い出すのよ。それに必要な時間は1秒に満たない。結果受信者は送信者と全く同じ記憶を持つ状態となりタイムリープは完了。例えば送信者と受信者の時間差が1週間ある場合、受信者は1週間後の未来までに自分が体験した記憶を思い出すことになるわけ。注意すべきなのは意識や人格は転送しないということ。その2つは受信者に依存する。
おっぱいに例えて教えてくれ。
お
Krisu dissolves into a blushing, stammering mess. Looks like it's up to me to answer Daru's question. Not with boobs, obviously.
現在のダルの記憶を小学生の頃のダルへと転送したとする。今のダルは2次元にも3次元にも無機物にも燃えられる変態だが、小学生時代はまだまだ無邪気な放たれ小僧だったはず。
小学校時代の僕はそれは真面目なクソガキでしたが何か。
つまり記憶は今の19歳の変態ダルのものだが、意識、人格はその真面目なクソガキのままとなる。見た目は子供、頭脳は大人な名探偵は成立しないということだ。
なんだつまらん。
This isn't like the time leaping you see in sci-fi novels. We aren't yet capable of transferring personality and consciousness.
携帯がブラックホールとホワイトホールのような役割を果たすから、記憶を送れるのは自分が携帯を持ってる時期の範囲内になる。注意すべきなのは送信者と受信者は同一人物でなければならないということ。例えば過去の自分ではなく親や友達が代わりに出てしまった場合、神経パルス信号はその親や友達に向けて放射される。そうなると親や友達の体に送信者の記憶が上書きされてしまう。下手をすると重大な人格障害が起きるかもしれない。
Krisu ends her explanation and takes a short breath. The lab falls into silence. I exchange glances with Krisu and Daru. I look at my Yuri, but her expression is blank. I guess it was too complicated for her.
それで
I clear my throat. It's time for the $1,000,000 question.
どうする？
どうするって？
タイムリープマシンの扱いについてだ。
for once, my assistant has nothing to say. I already know that she fears we've created a monster. Honestly, I feel the same way. After a few moments, Krisu finally speaks.
私たちの手に負える代物じゃないのは確かよ。一番無難なのは研究機関に譲渡して国家プロジェクト扱いにしてもらうことね。
I can tell that she's not pleased to have reached this conclusion. She obviously would prefer to experiment with this technology. After all, it's humanity's first time machine. Today, mankind has moved one step closer to the divine. I'm sure that the nations of the world would pay billions for just one look at our machine. The possibilities that it represents are limitless.
実感が湧かないな。
マユシも湧かないよ。
いや、マユシは何も手伝ってないからっしょ。
あ、そうだったね。
岡部の意見は？ちなみに法王院じゃなくて岡部の意見ね。
I agree with Krisu that the time leap machine is dangerous. On the other hand,
実験してみたい気持ちもある。
I state my honest feelings. Krisu gasps.
だが実際にタイムリープを行うには問題が多すぎる。
This is unknown territory. Not just for us, but for all of humanity.
誰がタイムリープするんだ？
I look to each of the lab mems in turn. Daru quickly looks away. Mayuri's expression is blank. Krisu stares right back at me.
誰って決めるのは難しい。
僕はパス。
Not a single person here wants the honor of being history's first time traveler. Everyone, except for Mayuri, is probably thinking about what could go wrong. What if the time leap were to fail?
シルンのタイムマシンみたいにジェリーマン化する可能性はゼロよ。このマシンで送るのはデータであって実物じゃないんだから。タイムリープに対する先入観にとらわれないで。まるで意識そのものをカット&ペーストするように思われるかもしれないけど、そうじゃなくてあくまでもコピー&ペーストなの。しかも記憶だけよね。
I was about to say, shouldn't it be more like copy-paste?
オリジナルが消えることはない。
That's a very easy thing to that's a very easy to understand example, excuse me. But that's not the problem. Time flows in a straight line from past to present to future. At least that's how most humans see it. This raises several questions.
過去へ転送したデータが何らかのミスでフラクタル構造化してしまう可能性はある。もし仮に俺が1時間前へタイムリープしたとして、フラクタル構造化によりスカスカになった記憶データが1時間前の俺の脳にぶち込まれるかもしれない。それは一種の記憶喪失と同じ状態になりかねないのでは。
かもね。
もしそうなった場合、その1時間後には現在に到達することになる。その時1時間遡った記憶喪失の俺と現在の俺が俺の脳で競合するわけだ。どちらのデータが生き残る？
理屈で考えれば1時間前にコピーが移された時点で今も変化するから。
The conflicting current me disappears then.
それはつまりコピー&ペーストではないということにならないか？
Yeah, this is the this is the single timeline idea.
わからない。未だかつて時間を超越した前例なんて一つもないから。
D メールでは世界は改変後に沿って再構成された。
I'm the only one who's aware of this, however.
タイムリープしてどうなるかはわからないのよ。タイターが言うように多世界解釈ならタイムリープした時点で別の世界線に分岐する可能性と同じ世界線のまま時間だけを遡る可能性が同時に存在することになる。
Yep, and then here's multiple timelines. That's why I'm so very curious. I'm assuming it's going to be Okabe who does it, right? Unless, I don't know, if Moeka barges in here and and then suddenly does it herself. But I'm assuming it's going to be Okabe that does it. And I'm very, very curious if we're going to stay in the perspective of the current Okabe, or if we will actually follow the memories and go back to a past Okabe. I'm really curious. Because if we stay with our current Okabe and nothing changes, then that would indicate that we're dealing with the many worlds idea. Because that means a new timeline has been created, but we have our own timeline we're still in right now. But that... I feel like the story wouldn't do that, because then how would we know the time leap actually worked? So either it's a single timeline or... And man, how would reading Steiner even worked? Like, so either we would go back in time and be in the perspective of the past Okabe, which is, well, then we couldn't tell the difference between the many worlds or single world, or we stay in the present. But if the world changes, how does reading Steiner work with that? Because so far the Okabe, our character here that we've been with for the beginning, he's consistently kept his memories as things changed. And yet, if that happens again, how would that work when we sent his current set of memories to the past, and that's changed something? So, sorry, I'm just trying to feel my way through this here. So that would be like we'd overwrite past Okabe, he would get to the present, and then reading Steiner would overwrite Okabe again. Well, I don't know why I'm trying to figure this out. We have no idea what reading Steiner is, how it works, or why it's even happening, or like the mechanics of it, so I probably shouldn't be trying to speculate on that front.
と同時に現在の岡部が消えない可能性の世界線も当然存在しているわけで、おそらくこの現在はそれに該当することになると思う。
Yeah. But that's only if the many worlds interpretation holds in the first place. Yes, yep, that's the round and around I go. I'm remembering now. Remember that dream/vision we had with Mayuri, where we supposedly went 70 million years in the past on Earth? And we had Mayuri there, and Mayuri said, oh, there are many Mayuris and many Okabes. Oh, and there's also an original Mayuri and an original Okabe. And it's like, what does that mean? Because that sounds like both are true, somehow.
お前はタイターの言うことは信じていないのではなかったのか。
可能性の話をしている。タイターはこの際どうでもいい。コペンハーゲン解釈ならあらゆる状態が波動関数として空間に広がっていることになる。そして観測者が観測した瞬間、どちらかに状態が収束する。
Okay. Wave function. In quantum theory, a function representing a quantum state. Scientists are not sure if wave functions represent reality are a convenient mathematical abstraction to describe what goes on in quantum mechanics. Copenhagen interpretation. A well-known approach to the Schrodinger's cat thought experiment. In this interpretation, before the box is opened, the cat exists as a combination of two wave functions, one that is alive and one that is dead. The instant the box is opened and the cat is observed, the wave function collapses to either condition. If the cat is alive upon opening the box, the wave function collapses to become a live cat. Conversely, if the cat is dead, the wave function collapses to become dead cat. Another quantum approach to this experiment is the many worlds interpretation. In this case, the observer who found the cat alive and the observer who found the cat dead exist in two separate universes that diverge the moment the box is opened. The Copenhagen interpretation is currently the dominant theory. That is with the caveat of this was written in 2010, and as of recording, it's been 13 years. So, who knows what's going on these days? I certainly wouldn't. But precise observation is impossible.
観測者は誰かというのも問題だ。
第三者じゃね？僕とかマユシとか。
そうとは限らない。観測者は俺かもしれないし、それ以外の誰かかもしれないし、神かもしれない。
To begin with, the Copenhagen interpretation and the many worlds interpretation are both microscale theories used to explain quantum interactions. No one knows whether they can be applied to humans or to the world at large. What about my personal experiences with reading Steiner? If reading Steiner is the sort of power I think it is, then the world line model is correct. World line model being single timeline, I'm thinking?
結局は意識はどこにあるという問題に行き着く。
このタイムリープマシンが転送するのはあくまで記憶だけ。それは間違いない。
転送された時点で今も再構成されるんじゃね？オカリンはリーディングシュタイナーでそれと同じような現象に遭遇したわけっしょ？
I don't know why I'm thinking about this just now. How come we never went to the shrine again and actually ask Lukako's dad what happened with the IBN? I know we asked Lukako, and Lukako confirmed that they had it at one point. How come we didn't... Because at that point we went to Faerus and asked for help. But how come we didn't go to the shrine? Because we know it's not there anymore, but surely... Or did we go to the shrine? I don't remember. I don't remember if we went to the shrine. Because if someone went and took it, I would think that Lukako's dad would be aware of that.
D メールの場合はそれで納得できた。あれは過去にメールで干渉する行為だというのが明確だったからな。しかしタイムリープは自分の記憶を過去へ送り込む行為であり、干渉するかしないかは明確にしていない。未来の記憶を思い出した1時間前の俺が因果に干渉するのかしないのかはその状況になってみなければわからないはず。
頭がこんがらがってきた。
Yeah, that's another thing to consider. The ideas that Titor brought in with divergence and convergence, and things of that nature.
なんかもう宗教の分野じゃね？魂はどこにあるかって話しよう。
待って、あんたたちは勘違いしている。人格と意識は 1時間前の岡部も今の岡部も何も変わらない。1時間分の記憶を持っているかいないか、違いはそれだけよ。
そうなのか。本当に。
絶対とは言い切れないけど、何しろ誰も試したことはないんだから。
This discussion's going nowhere. Personality and consciousness can't be strictly defined, so it's hard to imagine what might happen.
結局どっち？
だからわからないの。ここでどれだけうだうだ議論したって全ては予測止まりなんだから。この実験は人類のこれまでの既成概念を崩壊させるものになるかもね。
We don't know until we try. That pretty much sums it up. To make matters worse, the subject must be prepared to risk damage to their psyche. Krisu, Daru, and I say no more. We can't solve this problem. This is our limit as scientists. But haven't we accomplished enough already? The Time Leap machine itself is worthy of a Nobel Prize. We could sell this technology for billions if we so choose. Or chose. And if we go public with the Time Leap machine, we can break CERN's monopoly on time travel technology. What would that even look like? I can't even imagine what that would look like, Okabe. That sounds insane. That's enough. It has to be.
ねえねえ。
Mayuri, who has been observing the discussion with glassy eyes, opens her mouth to speak.
マユシーはね、難しいことはよくわかんないけど、例えばね、マユシーの買ってきたバナナをタイムリープさせるのはどうかな。
マユリったらバナナには人間みたいに脳はないでしょ。
あ、そっか。それじゃあダメだね。
Mayuri never changes. The atmosphere in the room gets a little more relaxed.
実験はしないでおく。タイムリープマシンはしかるべき研究機関に託そう。そして世間に公表する。
Well, I must say, that's quite... You know, Okabe actually sounds pretty reasonable here. Now, I don't for a minute believe this is actually what's going to happen. Something is going to force us, or force Okabe to time leap. That is absolutely what's going to happen. But, I can say that I approve of the what here? What would it be? Okabe is able to... He's able to step back, take a look at himself and the situation he's in, and try and make a reasonable... Like, he's not allowing the Chunibyo character to go out of control here. He's saying, look, I've been driven by, well, one, scientific curiosity, and two, this sort of megalomaniacal character that he embodies. But to actually take a step back from that and sort of humbly say, you know what, no, we can't or shouldn't be doing this. I can appreciate that. That's... I'm sure it's not easy. I mean, just a few minutes ago he was saying, let's do it. Thanks to the lightening of the mood, I can finally say what was on my mind. Neither Krisu nor Daru objects. Okay, I think I'll call it there. This episode will be a bit on the shorter side, but we had a pretty good discussion there, and the scene sort of had a break there. So we'll we'll call it there. And yeah, so as I said, I appreciate the decision, although I'm just as nervous. I'm just as nervous of the wider world getting their hands on this technology versus I am with just Okabe and his group. I don't think I'm not a fan of time travel in general, so I don't approve of it at all. But I as I said, I appreciate his sort of process of mind here. And yeah, that whole overriding business with this technology, that just that term being used there, it gives it an ominous, that makes it ominous to my mind. And yeah, as I've said time and time again now, I am just so very curious about what it's going to be like when we finally go ahead and do this thing. Yeah, that's what I'll be looking for. I'll be looking for if we stay in the present or go to the past. I'll be looking for if Reading Steiner activates. And we'll be trying to look for evidence of the many worlds interpretation or the single world line. Because those are going to be... Well, I think that's important. I think some people in previous episodes have said that that whole distinction might not be as important, or that maybe it's already been confirmed which it is, and I've just not been able to understand. That could be the case too. But either way, I'll be trying to figure it out for myself. In any case, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you'll join me for next time. I've been The Worm. This has been Steins Gate. See you then.